Who are the millionaires next door? You may think that it's the people who live in the most expensive homes in the poshest neighborhoods and drive the newest and flashiest luxury vehicles, or the people who have high-paying jobs and are always spending huge sums of money on consumer goods that will impress others but that depreciate quickly. Well, in this video, we will dispel those and other myths and reveal who the U.S. millionaires really are, as we count down 10 facts and stats about U.S. millionaires that you are sure to find interesting and perhaps even surprising. But before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so we can continue to provide you with more thought-provoking and engaging videos in the future. Now let's get back to finding out who exactly U.S. millionaires are and begin our countdown with Number 10. How many millionaires are there in the U.S.? Would you believe that almost 1 in 11 U.S. adults are millionaires? That's right, 8.8% of U.S. adults are millionaires, which means that any time you leave your house, you are almost certain to cross paths and bump into at least one millionaire, and very likely more than one. Millionaires are literally all over the place in the United States. Altogether, there were 22.7 million millionaires in the U.S. at the end of 2022. Number 9. How old are the millionaires? The average millionaire is 57 years old. If you think about it, this makes perfect sense because it normally takes smart financial decisions, hard work, and wise investments to become a millionaire, most of which don't usually come to fruition until a person is in their mid to late 50s and nearing the end of their working career. Number 8. What race or ethnicity are most millionaires? 76% of millionaires in the U.S. are white. Tied for second are Black and Asian people at 8% each, followed by Hispanic or Latino people at 7%. Number 7. Are most millionaires men or women? 1 out of every 3 U.S. millionaires is a woman, so 2 out of 3 U.S. millionaires are men. Number 6. What type of education do U.S. millionaires have? Getting an education beyond the 12th grade is one of the biggest predictors of a U.S. adult's likelihood of reaching millionaire status. Almost 9 out of 10 millionaires graduated from college, and a majority of millionaires have completed master's or higher degrees as well. Number 5. Where do U.S. millionaires live? You may be wondering to yourself, if there are so many millionaires in the U.S., where do they all live? Well, the state with the highest percentage of millionaire households is New Jersey, where 9.76% of all households have reached that financial milestone. Following close behind New Jersey and rounding out the top 5 states are Maryland, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Hawaii. Number 4. How do U.S. millionaires invest their money? One of the most distinguishing traits of U.S. millionaires is that they are diligent and consistent investors. Most of them will tell you that regular, consistent investing over a long period of time is the main reason for their success. They make sure to invest in their company's 401k plan when that option is available, but they also invest outside of company plans too. And they make sure they are diversified within those investments. In other words, they're very careful not to put all of their financial eggs in one basket. They allow their money to grow slowly but steadily over the course of many years, and they make their own investment decisions. Number 3. Did you know that most U.S. millionaires are first-generation millionaires? Well, it is a fact that most millionaires are the first generation in their family to reach that status. The overwhelming majority of millionaires, almost 8 out of 10, did not receive any inheritance at all from their parents or other family members. And that same percentage grew up in families that would be considered at or below the middle income level. Number 2, what kinds of jobs do millionaires have? The top 5 millionaire occupations are engineer, accountant, CPA, teacher, management, and attorney. And millionaires aren't usually earning the big bucks. About 1/3 of them never even made six figures in any single working year of their career. But they are super investors, and they know how to live off less than what they make. Number 1. What are some of the spending and saving habits of U.S. millionaires, besides their investments? While millionaires are perhaps able to indulge in more of their wants than others, and not have to worry about the prices of items as much, it is very telling to learn that, as a group, their mindset seems to be more oriented towards frugality than excess, and they're careful with their spending. They are homeowners, but they are much more likely to live in an average, middle-class neighborhood than an upscale one, and, chances are, they have lived in that same house for years and possibly even for decades. They usually purchase their vehicles with cash and typically buy American-made cars. And they're usually driving those American-made cars while wearing inexpensive, off-the-rack suits and clothing. 3/4 of U.S. millionaires have never carried a credit card balance in their lives, and they typically spend less than $200 per month at restaurants. And one of the millionaire traits that surprised us the most is that 93% of millionaires use coupons all or some of the time when shopping. However, if you think about it, it makes sense. The habit of couponing is indicative of the typical millionaire's broader mindset towards money, whereby they pay attention to where their money is going, and they are diligent in protecting it. Our main takeaway from these millionaire facts and stats is that most people's perception of millionaires is wrong. Millionaires don't normally live in upscale neighborhoods or drive luxury vehicles. They are more ordinary people who live well below their means. They accumulated their wealth in one generation, but not by winning the lottery or signing a multi-million-dollar contract with a sports team, or through an inheritance. They built their wealth as a result of a lifestyle of hard work, perseverance, and planning, and by being self-disciplined in their saving and investing. They know that wealth is not the same as income, and that if you make a good income each year but spend it all, you are not getting wealthier, you are just briefly living the high life. They have cracked the wealth-building code and know that wealth is what you accumulate, not what you spend. We hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. Until next time, stay focused to realize your dreams.